Hi there everybody, this is David, and today I woke up to an email, a press release, and it had me about jumping out of my chair. A game that we haven't seen anything, hide nor hair of for over 20 years now is coming back, and I do want to tell you all about that today, and I definitely do think that's worth the sub as you come and you join my party and you level on up with me. Thank you so much for your sub, your like, and your brand new hype. It helps me out a ton. Yeah, we're talking about dot hack here, which we really haven't seen since the PlayStation 2 era. But before I do go on about that, I want to tell you about another game that I think that you're really going to like that's HD 2D, turn-based, reminds me a lot of Live Alive as well as Octopath Traveler, so here we go. This video is sponsored by Spark Ignites, which is a free demo out right now. This really actually surprised me in a very good way. So if you're into turn-based RPGs like Live Alive or Octopath Traveler, then this here is absolutely in that lane. It's got that HD 2D pixel art style, strategic turn-based battles where you can move your characters around the field, striking lines and columns, and a story that goes hard almost immediately. The demo's going to drop you right into starving soldiers, brutal orders from the king, political betrayal, prison breaks, occult summoning, demons, just the works. Combat's turn-based with positioning, shared action points, a visible turn order, and skills that actually make you think instead of just mashing attack. It's story-heavy, choice-driven, and genuinely ambitious, which I did not expect going in. So yeah, if you like discovering cool RPGs early before anybody else does, definitely check out the Spark Ignites demo. The link is in the video description as well as the pinned comment, and it is really worth your time. And now, let's get on back to today's video. So we're talking about dot hack here, which originally released back on the PlayStation 2 back whenever I was in college in 2002. It's an action RPG series, and we're getting a brand new one right now. There were 4 games in the dot hack series, and then there was the sequel series called dot hack GU, and there were 3 games in that series, and then the GU series was also kind of revamped, remastered, upscaled, all that kind of good stuff, and then released as a compilation, but we never actually got a re-release of the original dot hack series. And no, we're not getting a re-release now either, but we are getting a new entry in it. It says 4 home consoles, does not mention PC, it just says 4 home consoles, and then it's 10 years in the making, and it is self-planned, self-developed, and published with permission from Bandai Namco Entertainment. So yeah, they're actually going to be producing them themselves. This is really, really, really freaking cool. They've been playing this for quite a long time. They go on to say that the game will be enjoyable for both veteran fans and new players alike. Please look forward to this newest iteration of dot hack. So, what is this game? Maybe you weren't around in 2002 whenever I was in college and I was playing these games. Well, let me just tell you all about them. There were 4 games. There was dot hack infection, mutation, outbreak, and then quarantine, and basically it features this game within a game or whatever. You're playing a game, but then the actual game is this MMO RPG called The World, and then you hook up with other players who are also playing The World, and it takes place in this, I don't know, strange world, I guess, where where there was this computer hack or something, and the internet shut down, nobody could get online, and the government's taking control of it and everything. Then a couple years later, this MMO comes out called The World, but then as people play it, they kind of fall into a coma or they go missing and all that kind of stuff. So you're kind of trying to investigate this mystery of what is going on with this MMO, with this world, and what's happening to your friends and everybody else, who are playing it. So yeah, it is kind of it's a really fun game, and it's an action RPG. This is not a turn-based RPG, and this newest entry in the dot hack series will also be an action RPG. It says, the stories unfold in both the real world and the fantasy world within the game. And then they did an interview with the CyberConnect 2 CEO who is creating this game, and they said that the title .hack 0 reflects the messaging of restarting .hack from zero. This is kind of a reboot of the game, of the franchise, whereas some other companies, every single time they want to maybe reboot something, they say, oh wait, no, we can't reboot it first, we have to remake and remaster every single frickin' game in the entire series before we possibly create a sequel. Huh! Well, they're saying no, screw that, we ain't doing that, we're just going to give y'all a sequel. Thumbs up to y'all. They also say it has no connection to a .hack 0 light novel series that was released. This is its own thing, its very own thing. The story is set roughly 10 or so years in the future and will once again center on the in-game MMORPG The World, but with a greater focus on real-world drama. In the originals, it was pretty much 100% you're in this MMO. You could like log out of the MMO and go to like emails and message boards and text messages and things like that, but you couldn't really explore the real world. You could only explore the world, if that makes any sense at all. It says, while previous entries in the .hack series were limited in the depictions of the real world to only emails and web browsers due to budget and publisher constraints, no such constraints will exist for this game. He also goes on to say the series has always explored themes of duality between worlds, and the monochrome teaser visual is meant to reflect that contrast, such as a public persona versus inner feelings and the dual nature of reality versus games. And again, while the genre is RPG, gameplay will incorporate both action and adventure elements. So yeah, we're getting a lot here. This is so freaking cool. I personally was hoping that whenever .hack GU got that like compilation back on the PS4, I want to say I bought it for the PS4, that they would also do like a compilation thing for .hack, and then they never did, and I was really upset about that, and I was like, oh, well, this kind of sucks, you know? I felt like they should have done .hack first, you know, and then done GU since it kind of released that way, and then they didn't. But yeah, this is even better news, you know? I've been there, done that. I played the .hacks, you know, although it would be great to play them again, you know, redone. Now we're getting a new game in the series, and again, you can play this even if you never played the other .hack games before. So this is really freaking cool. We are living in a good timeline game-wise, y'all. It's like every time that I think like, oh, what's going on in the games and all this kind of stuff, I get surprised. I get surprised with really cool stuff like this, really cool stuff by Konami, just really cool stuff in general. So I am okay happy about this. Thank you guys so much for watching, but I also want to hear from you. What do you think about this news? Did you play the .hack games back in the day, or GU? What is your experience with these games? Let me know in the comments, and as always, have a good day.